What's up, Bronco fam? All right, y'all, so for today's video, I'm not gonna lie to you. This video is about something that is totally for aesthetics. It doesn't really improve the performance of anything, but it does improve the look and makes you stand out a little more. What is it you're asking? These tail lights. Now, I don't even not like the tail lights, the factory tail lights. I think they look great, at least the LED versions, which is what I have. But you see them on everything, and let's be honest, we all kind of want to stand out with our Broncos. And one of the ways that I have found is the Raptors. You know, the Raptors, they have a totally different tail light, and luckily our friends over at Mabett have done a Raptor style tail light that we can install on our Bronco. So I ordered a couple of them. Let's throw them on, let's see how they look, and go from there. All right, so I'm anxious to see what these things look like. So let's go ahead and do the unboxing and then go knock this install out. It's really not gonna take that long. Oh, no, don't do that. Not with the headlights, okay? Oh, told you not with the headlights. Come over here, let's take a look, and then let's go knock this out. All right. Instructions look good. Really easy install. Packaged nicely. Look good. I love that Mabett uses the factory harnesses, so there's no cutting, no splicing with this install like a lot of their others. That's it. It's the light. It's the instruction. I saw some zip ties in there. Let's go ahead, knock this out. First thing we're going to do is we've got to remove this panel. To make it even easier, we're just going to take the fender off. That's really simple. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and pulls right off. Next thing is we're going to pull this back. It's easy if you've got some of these pry tools. There you go. Next, we're going to remove that screw right there with a 10mm socket. Next, we're going to remove these 4 annoying retaining clips. I hate these things. 1 came out nicely. 2 came out nicely. 3 came out nicely. And there's always 1 that won't. Once you have those removed, really you don't even have to remove the top one, just these 3. Then you will just pull that piece off. Now you don't have to remove this, but I'm going to just to make it easier to see in here. And again, you don't have to remove the whole thing. If you just do these 2 nuts or these 2 bolts right here, kind of move it to the side, that's going to give you all the access you need. Next, there's 2 bolts in there, here and here. I'm using a 5/16 to get those off. Next, this screw right here, 10mm. And once you've removed that and you've disconnected the connection, light just comes right out. Pretty decent, quick little uninstall. So now we've got to take this bracket off of the factory light. To get this off, pull this up, then that just slides off, disconnect here, and then we're just going to remove these 4 bolts. Now let's take a look at these side by side. before I put them on. I will say weight wise, they're about the same. As far as looks, I do like the gloss black on the factory over the plastic of these. But it'll be nice to have something different from other people. It's got a cool little design here, but let's go ahead and put the bracket on and get it installed and go from there. All right, so once you have the bracket put on the new light, one thing I will mention, getting this clip off of the bracket from the old light was very difficult. I disconnected here first, took the bracket off, and then disconnected it. Don't do this one first. You might break the little tab that's back there. When you put on the new light, I will mention to you that the wiring is not long enough and it's a little too thick to go back in the channel as originally with the factory. Plus you've got this resistor here. That's why they provide you with the zip tie. So I'm going to zip tie this and we will continue. All right, once we have the bracket put on, zip tied, just kind of clean it up. Just going to come over here, reverse the steps. First one is just going to be to slide this in. Just kind of line up the holes, make sure the wires are out. Now you'll notice mine, I have a couple extra wires here, and that's because I did the aftermarket trailer hitch. So if yours doesn't look like that, that's why there's more. Make sure you're sliding it behind that bolt over here. You're lining up, and then you should hear it click in. Once that's in, there we go. Now let's go ahead and test it. All right, once we've tested, make sure the power's coming in, we're just going to do the steps in reverse, button this all back up, then we'll move over to the other side. But before we do, we'll do a little side-by-side comparison so you can see factory still installed and the new Mabett Raptor light installed in its place. 10 millimeter. 5/16. Back to the 10 millimeter. Now popping the trim piece on the side back in place. Now putting the retaining screws back in place. Putting them in is so much easier and more satisfying than taking them out. Another 10 millimeter. Now snapping the last trim piece in. Now you kind of want to start on this corner, push in. Should slide right into those little slots. Then you're going to kind of push it over, snap it in. Last thing is the fender. All right, so now we got the side by side. We've got the factory LED signature Bronco lights and the Mabett Raptor style Bronco lights. I gotta be honest with you, I wasn't 100% like super excited about doing this install because I didn't not like the signature lights. I thought they looked great, honestly. The reason I went with this is because it's just different. It makes it stand out. A lot of people have the signature lights, obviously, and this is just something different. I'm not gonna sell my signature lights. I'm gonna keep them. If something goes wrong with these or for some reason I wanna go back to the signatures, I'm gonna keep them. But first impressions just between the two is really like them. Let me show you one thing that I have heard complaints about with the Mabett light, and I do notice it, but I don't think it's an issue. Come here. All right, so one of the complaints I had heard is that people didn't like that the lights actually kind of angled out. It looked like they angled out. They actually do. They do angle out. They're not straight back to the back. But I will point something out. The LEDs inside the bulb are actually angled in the light, so they are pointing straight back. To me, it's not a deal killer by any means, but let me show you kind of a 360. Really, the only way you're going to be able to tell from straight on from the back a little bit, but straight down is really where you can kind of see that it does angle out a little bit. But again, not a killer for me. All right, so we're going to do a little side-by-side to see what it looks like when you unlock the vehicle, when you hit the brakes, when you hit the left blinker, right blinker, and so on during the daylight. So let's go ahead and test that out. Got an assistant. Hot one. All right, so there is the turn on. Let's see when it cranks up. Let me get out of the way. All right, so the install's done. I'm not gonna waste your time and show you how to do the other side. It's exactly like the driver's side. The only difference is it's a little bit trickier just because of the tailgate gets in the way, but other than that, exactly the same, no problem. I gotta say, I love the way they look now. Now that both are on, like my concerns, my worries about doing this mod are gone. I absolutely love the way they look right now. I mean, check this out. Now on the video earlier when I was doing the factory and this one, for some reason on the video it looks brighter with the factory, but it's not. It's actually brighter from these. But let's go ahead, let's jump in and I will do the left and right and the brake and we'll wrap this thing up. All right, so there you have it. The Mabett Raptor style tail lights for the 6th gen Bronco. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it informative, give me a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. I think I'm over 30 videos now. I've seriously lost track. Tons of mods on the Broncosaurus. I've still got a lot of videos to make. So I'm really excited about that. This thing, I don't know if I'm ever gonna be finished with it, but I guess that's kind of the fun about owning a Bronco is the ability to modify it and add accessories and switch things out. You know, I kind of felt like a kid again, but hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, catch you on the flip side.